Okay, everyone, so now just a quick kind of summary of what happened in the acute inflammatory response phase and kind of the results and where we are before we move forward. So remember, we had the injury occur. Nerves, blood vessels, cells were all injured, ruptured. We have the cells spilling their contents, debris is all created. Chemical mediators are released from those damaged cells, as well as then calling through chemostaxis more chemical mediators to the area. We sense pain from those nerves being disrupted, as well as the chemical mediators sensitizing the nerves. We have all this extravascular hemorrhage that happened from the cells breaking and the blood vessels rupturing, as well as then now we're starting swelling formation, not only from that primary swelling, but because of the proteins floating in the area, and we'll talk more about that soon. Potentially have hematoma formation, and we talked about how hematoma can actually be helping the process early on, but it's not good if it hangs around. The fibrin and the platelets have come to the area and started to block the vessel. Now, that's kind of the process, but now we need to also be thinking again, like, what are some of the effects? So all the swelling and hematoma is exerting pressure not only on the broken blood vessels and being helpful, but putting pressure on the undamaged tissue, which again causes more pain. And we kind of talked about getting over in that left side of that cycle that we saw in our first video, as well as potentially affecting how those undamaged cells receive oxygen and nutrients. Okay, if they're blocking all the blood vessels, those secondary cells can't get what they need. So we actually usually experience more pain. We have more muscle spasm, which then also inhibits the muscular strength. Okay, ideally macrophages come to the area and break that up, but there are these free proteins floating around, which is going to pull and desire to have more fluid in the area. And so the lymph system is responsible for helping remove all that, but it can get overwhelmed pretty quickly. And so, again, you can see that if we're in this process, if these things are happening, if we get stuck in any of these areas, we have a harder time getting cleaned up and being able to move on into the repair phase. And so we want these things to be flowing because there's things that are important. All this stuff is important to get us to the repair point. But if anything gets stuck and anything's too much, we could get in that cycle, that left-hand cycle.